Hello. Are we live? I think we're live. How's it going, people? How are you? How you been? My hair is a mess because I just got out of the shower. What is up? Can you hear me? Mic check. 1, 2. How you doing? How you been? How's your mom and them? Who is all here? Let's find out. Kev's Aquatics, Meow Aquatics, Shauna OTD, Scott's Aquatics, Chattanooga Ed is here. Dragon Lair is here. What up, Dragon Bro? Boss Hog. I love that name. That's fantastic. Pebbling Creek Aquatics. Hello. 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 Tampa Tom is here. What is up, Tampa Tom? Somebody loves tango. Joseph's here. Darlene's Tank's here. JH Aquatics, I see you. Danikin. Connor. Hello, Connor. Science Gal Aquatics is here. Priscilla is here. Hello, Priscilla. Bob is here. What is up, Bob? Mr. Fish, sir. Hello. Greg. Von Lurker. GB. Big City Meadows. Hello. Anthony's Fishy Friends. Yo, yo, yo. Picking up some tanks. I love that. I love it when people are picking up tanks. Okay, so, first of all, I just got out of the shower, so this hair, I apologize. My OCD is going to make me keep touching it. It's going to drive me nuts. Alright, so, topic for discussion for the night. Shrimps and sweaters, what is up? What is up, Hunter? Topic for discussion tonight, let's talk about plant propagation. Ed hit me up before the stream asking about his valve. Want to know if he should trim it. Trim your valve, people. You gotta trim the valve. See the valve? You gotta trim the valve. It's gonna grow up, it's gonna grow over, trim the valve. Oh, Peyton has a dire emergency with their Senegal Bashir. Ask away. We shall help you. If I can't help you, someone else can help you. Dragon Lair. I said, what up, Dragon Bro? I said that. Look at that nice fish. He's so cool. Oh, Adele is here. Hello. Carrie is here. Good evening, Carrie. Habercorn? Did I say that right? Habercorn? Okay, let's go with these Senegal Bashir questions. What's happening here? We'll figure out about that. I want to talk about plant propagation and like how you move plants around. So if you have questions about plant propagation, roll those into me and we'll start working on those. What else? Whoa. Calm down, fish. I'm always on the coffee, bro. When am I not on the coffee? By the way, my Coochie Kopi cup, shout out in the comments if you know who Coochie Kopi is, because it's a very important character. Peyton James says, have you ever had red marks on one of your Senegals? She's super bloated, and in that area is where the red marks are. It looks like a bruise almost. Could be a bruise, or it could be some kind of infection. A lot of times you get that like red hemorrhaging thing that happens, and it's like generally when I've seen that in Bashirs, it's a water quality issue because it's from them coming in from shipping. I don't know if yours is a water quality issue or not, but that's the ones that I see. And the way that I treat that is with super, super clean water. Like, get them out of whatever water it is that was bad and get them into some nice fresh water with a whole bunch of plants. Places to hide, places to feel comfortable with the heat cranked up. However, they can also get bruises from smashing into stuff. And if it's got a bruise, basically you just need to make sure you got nice clean water and it'll heal itself. The bloated thing, if it's bloated, that's different. If it's swollen in that area, it would make me more think it was a bruise. Gotta go change some mantis water. I'm so jealous of you, Priscilla, with your mantis shrimp. I want one so bad. Mickey says, if no extra nutrition added, what are the easiest plants in your water/tanks? If you are not going to fertilize, if you want to have a planted tank, you want to do the the flower horn method. No ferts, no CO2, no nothing, no highlight, just regular light. Honestly, of the plants that I have, Pilomoss would be great. Any kind of Anubis would be great. It's not going to grow very fast, so I wouldn't put a large stocking of fish in there. Because everything in the aquarium is about balance. Okay, I'm a Libra, so it comes very natural to me. But what you're looking for isn't necessarily this many fish can fit in this tank, and this many fish can fit in this size tank. What you're looking for is this tank right here can sustain this many fish. And what I mean by that is, if you have a 20-gallon long with no plants in it, you know, fake plants hang on the back filter, it may only be able to handle a certain amount of fish. And all of that is going to be based on your bacteria colony, which is why I love Corey so much, because he gets this. He understands that the amount of ammonia that you are trying to get rid of in your tank is squarely based on what is in your tanks and what you're feeding it. So, for instance, whether I've got 5 guppies or 50 guppies in a 10-gallon tank, if I feed that tank 1 cube of bloodworms every day, it's going to have the same amount of bacteria in it in both tanks. Just because that's all the more food you're putting into it. So you're putting in a cube of bloodworms, the fish are eating it, they are pooping it out, the ammonia is dealing with it. Or the bacteria is dealing with the ammonia, turning it into nitrate. But you're only getting enough ammonia for that 1 cube of bloodworms that you put in. If you put in 5 cubes of bloodworms, that's how much your bacteria colony can handle. So it's all about balance. It's all about the food. And then if you have a fully planted tank and you put 1 cube of bloodworms into it a day, it can probably handle a lot more than a not planted tank, because you've got all the plants working for you too. It's all balance. You have to balance the food, the livestock, the plants, all of it together, which is why you can run a no-filter tank and it be just as good as a canister filtered tank, and they can both have the exact same stocking in them. Because one's going to need more plants or more water changes or more this. Like, you can run a tank and just water change it every day, because you're balancing out the ammonia that's put in there with the water change. It's all about balance. What did I miss there while I was on that rant? Balance, balance, balance. Hello, balance. Oh, Shrimps with Sweaters at the $4.99 super chat. Plant and coffee funds at work, so lurking. Okay, don't get in trouble at work, and I will definitely use that to buy coffee. Thank you, sir. By the way, Hunter, your sweater, when I wear that, everywhere I wear it, the Shrimps with sweater, people are like, oh my god, that's the cutest sweater ever. And I'm like, oh, do you know Hunter? And they're like, I don't know what that means. And I'm like, Shrimps with Sweaters. And they're like, yeah, I don't get it. And I'm like, it's a YouTube channel, check it out. Okay, what did I miss while I was ranting? What did I miss? Fish Tank Burns here, what's up? Bob says, what stem plants do you keep, Haley, and specifically how do you trim? So I keep Ludwigia, Olivace, I keep Kabamba, I have Lymphnophilia aromatica, and I think that might be it. I have another stem plant in there that I haven't identified because somebody, Dustin from Dustin's Fish Tanks, sent it to me unidentified, so I don't know what the heck it is, but I love it. And the way that I trim those specifically is I generally don't ever pull a plant unless I'm like replanting a whole area. I will look for, especially on like the Ludwigias, now the Lymphnophilia doesn't do this as much, but most stem plants will shoot off a root. Like as they grow up, they'll start shooting roots off from the sides of them, and I will trim just below one of those roots and then replant. Okay, where else are we? Hellos. All in Tank said, I feel most people are not understanding the true facts of balance in a planted tank. I agree. Do. Shrimps with Sweaters is getting back on the YouTube thing. Cool. Andy says, how can I propagate a big Amazon sword? If I am not mistaken, Amazon swords grow bunch-wise, so your plant will just look like it's getting bigger, but there will be little plants within that plant, and you just pull the new sword out and propagate it over. That's one that you can't really cut, and it doesn't send out a runner. So, yeah. You're going to need to basically pull that plant, pull off any babies, and then replant it. What have I missed? Anything else? Yeah, I don't know any German. Well, I know some German, but not a lot of German. Could not have a conversation in German for sure. Priscilla probably could. Okay, so when we're talking propagation, I wrote these down so that I wouldn't forget them. That's upside down. Whoops, you can't read that. It's in my chicken scratch. So there's two types of propagation. There's sexual propagation. I don't need this. And there's vegetative propagation. Whatever. Sexual propagation of a plant would be like seeds, flowers. You know, the way that the plant was made to propagate. Vegetative propagation is like your runners and your little plantlets and your offsets. So you've got like a runner, so the plant will grow like a slip or like a little shoot, and then a new plant will grow from that plant. So it'll be like you got your mother plant, and then a little runner will shoot out and go somewhere else, and then it'll grow a whole nother plant right here. And then you can have like an offset, which is kind of like that sword, where it'll just grow more plants right around that same spot. And then you can also have like a plantlet, which is where a new plant, like on a crenum, where the new plant grows directly on the mother plant, and you kind of have to break it off. Or you can do a cutting, which is like what you do with those stem plants, where I was talking about, like it grows a root up at the top. This person said another way with the sword, when it shoots up a flower, it'll have a bunch of little leaf clusters lower than the florets. Sometimes you can get those going. Vegetative propagation. Right on. See, we can all figure this all out together. I don't have to know everything. Mickey M says, I think that is why so many non-nerds leave the hobby before getting in, feeding too much, or leave the feeding to their 6-year-old children. Yeah, a lot of people don't understand that the food is part of the equation when you're talking about balance. So it's not just, I have a 6-inch fish in there and a 6-inch fish produces this much waste. Well, a 6-inch fish only produces as much waste as it is given food. So if you feed that 6-inch fish 1 cube of bloodworms a day, it produces 1 cube of bloodworms worth of poop. If you feed it twice a day, it produces twice that, because you're feeding it twice that. It has everything to do with what you're putting in the tank. Same goes for fertilizer. If you've got enough plants to eat, saying you should put 1 squirt in every other day is one thing. But if you've got a planted tank that has 1 Anubis in it, and you've got a planted tank that is fully planted, and you do the same amount of fertilizer in both, one of those tanks is either going to have a deficiency, or one of them is going to grow algae like crazy, because it's imbalanced. There's more food than there is plant, or there's less food than there is plant. You got to balance it. Ed wants to know what's the best way to grow your moss. Well, different mosses, different things. But in my opinion and experience with mosses, they either want like almost 0 light or like all the light. And if you give them all the light, they grow totally different than if you grow them in like 0 light. I think they grow better in like 0 light. Like barely lit tanks. Which is usually why I plant them underneath something else, and then they'll grow underneath that. I cannot breathe. Okay, there we go. Dragon Layer says I skip feeding 2 days a week, not in a row though. I usually skip feeding at least 1 day a week, just because I think that's a good thing for my fish. Because in the wild, they would not be readily finding food exactly when they want it, easily delivered to them. And I honestly think some of my Bashirs are obese. Anyways, Bob says, Haley, do you have any dirted tanks, and what do you think about them if so? I do have dirted tanks. Love a dirted tank. This is a dirted tank. That's a dirted tank. The 50 low boy is dirted. The pond is nothing but dirt. I love dirt. I love the Wallstead method. I really think that the dirted Wallstead method is the recipe for a no-filter tank, because it kind of goes on par with like the deep substrate bed, but I don't necessarily think it has to be deep. I just think it has to be dirt with a cap if you want it to be pretty. If you don't want it to be pretty and you don't care, then no cap. But if you want it to be pretty, then you'll want a sand cap on it. Plus, I think sand works best with the dirted tank just because it's really easy to, like, uproot stuff, and then the dirt kind of stays where it's at, versus if you uproot stuff through gravel, it takes forever for the dirt to fall back down, becomes a big mess. Fish Dream says, I want dirt, but I already have sand in most of my tanks. So move the sand over and dirt it. Because you're going to have to replant it anyway if you do that. But, huge, huge, huge fan of the Wallstead method. That is the way to do it. Like, if you don't want to do root tabs, and you don't want to do fertilizer, and you don't want to really mess with it, and you just want a tank that grows plants, dirt, pool filter sand. All day long. Dirt, pool filter sand. Travis Perkins, fun and games. Hello. Hello. I'm fantastic. How are you? Streetwise says, the book says 1.5 organic soil, 1.5 cap, your mix of sand and gravel. Yeah, I mean, Diana Wallstead, like, spells it. That book is so scientific. Like, if you want to know the chemicals and the allelopathy that is happening within your tank, because plants fight with each other. These things are alive, okay? And this plant puts off different chemicals than this plant, and if this plant doesn't like this plant's chemicals, they can have a battle. Like, I watch it play out all the time in my pond. If I put a plant that doesn't like another plant next to it, they'll fight. And she spells all of that out scientifically, like, by the chemical and what is actually happening, and, like, proves the whole allelopathy thing. But, like, when you break it down, it doesn't matter if you do 1.5 and 1.5 or 2 and 1 or 1 and 2 or whatever. I don't care how you stack it. Dirt, quill filter sand. Plants. That's how I like to do it. I don't know. Mains, tails, and furs just got done squaring bales. Putting up square bales for the horse for the winter. I just bought a bale of hay and a bale of Timothy grass for our new rabbit. Because we have a rabbit now. My bestest friend Rosie found a rabbit. She found 2 rabbits. And so Jaden got a rabbit. I named it Food. So we have a rabbit named Food. It's a really good rabbit. It's actually really, really nice. Like, the kid carries it around like a baby. She carries it around in a little bag. It's a Dutch, so it's got like the black, white, black thing. And we got a big giant hutch outside, and I'll do a video all about it. But yeah, I think this winter and next summer I'm going to start putting in money into doing a pond in the backyard and fencing the whole thing in and doing like just a whole outdoor place for the rabbit, because we've got this big hutch that I want to rework on and stuff, and you may end up getting some rabbit content here on Oddball Aquatics. I'm so sorry, but there will be a pond if I can get Ed to come over and install my pond. Rabbits can be trained to use a litter box. Yeah, I know. I just don't understand how to train a rabbit to use a litter box. Like, I get it. I've seen it done. I don't have time for that. So the rabbit hutch is 2-level rabbit hutch, and it's got like an 8-foot run on the front of it, but I've got to get all that connected, and we're not trying to put the rabbit out for its first winter, really, so it's been spending afternoons out there, and then it comes inside at night. But I really want to do like a whole fenced-in backyard, and have like an outdoor rabbit area that's around the pond. So yeah, that coming soon to Oddball Aquatics. Rabbits. Down the rabbit hole has the rabbits at the shop litter train. Just put the litter pin in the corner and put some of its poop in there. Yeah, but like, rabbits just drop pellets, man. That's just, they run around and they leave little poops. That's what they do. Okay, I'll try it, but yeah. Rabbit skunks? I don't know what you're talking about, Pam. I don't know what you're talking about, Pam. I don't know nothing about no rabbit skunks. Well, that guy was out for a little while, but now he's over it. So yeah, rabbit videos. What else? I got 7 new ropefish. They're all in quarantine. Repeat putting it in the litter box as well, similar to cat training. Oh, interesting. I know how to litter train a cat. That's easy. You put them in the litter box, and you push their butt down. You see, that's where you poop. And then the cat goes in the litter box to poop. Works really well. But for now, we deal with the rabbit inside. Rabbit skunks. Oh, it's a story. Bob gave you away, Pam. It's a story. Interesting. Okay. What else do we got to talk about? Everything's canceled for the rest of the year. I'm super bummed out. I'm ready for some kind of an event. I need gatherings of people. Fish Dream says, how often would you say shop light bulbs need replaced? I mean, these are LED shop lights, and I haven't replaced them yet. I would say probably every 6 months to a year. I think they dim. I think they might dim out over time. The LED shop lights, I'm not sure yet. Jury's still out. I'm working on that. I think all those lights lose their intensity, though. Got caught up reading Amazonas magazine. Oh, that's a good way to get caught up. I need more coffee. What else have I done? Not much. Water changes. Shipping stuff to people. I got a female betta. That female betta that I'm breeding to Patriot. So there's that. Let's see here. What's in the mug? Oh, that'd be coffee. That's always coffee. That's a Coochie Kopi, and that's my coffee. Psychedelic hippocampus. Do you still fertilize the water column even if you are stocked with an abundance of fish? Depends on what the tank's doing. So, if the tank looks fine with what I've been doing, I keep doing it. So if I've been fertilizing it, I keep fertilizing it. And I always fertilize when I do a water change. So water change once a week, because that's how I want all my tanks to balance out. So whatever I'm doing with them, I want it. One of the things that I'm not willing to negotiate is you get 50% water change once a week. That's where you have to balance too. So I can change the stocking. Like this tank, heavily stocked 40 gallon. Okay, it's got 2 Bashirs, a Asian featherback knife fish, 2 giant plecos, vampire shrimp, like 6 Corydoras, something else. What else is in there? Maybe that's it. That might be it. Anyways, it's got all of that in there. And so I pump a lot of food into this tank. But I always pump the same amount of food into this tank. That way, the bacteria colony rises up to that level of food and doesn't change, even though other things might change. Like I might put another fish in there or whatever. So, in this tank, I fertilize it. But let's say this tank, nothing else changed. Like I didn't change the stocking. And it started breaking out in algae. I would then keep doing my water change, but I would back off on the fertilizer. That way, the plants had time to catch up with the amount of nutrients that's in the tank. So, for instance, right now I've got a pleco tank that the filter just died on it. So it used to have a hang on the back filter on it, and it's got like 60 or some odd plecos in it, and the filter died. So it used to have a filter, get a 50% water change once a week, and fertilized. Now that it has no filter and it's getting a 50% water change a week and it's fertilized, it's growing a ridiculous amount of algae. So I've decided I'm cutting out all the fertilizer on this tank. And what I'll do is I'll keep feeding it the same amount of food. It's got the same stocking in it. I'll do the same 50% water change, but I won't fertilize. And hopefully that will give the plants time to eat up the amount of nutrients that's in there because it's not being filtered anymore. So all the bacteria that was in the filter died off, obviously, because the filter died. So all of that bacteria that's in the tank now has to colonize up to deal with the amount of food that I put in there, which is 2 algae wafers, sometimes 3. Just kind of depends on the amount of plecos that are in there. But that's what I'm saying. It's all about balance. There's not a blanket answer. I wouldn't say, oh, if it's a 20-gallon tank, you need to do that. It all depends on what you're doing with that tank. Bob, did I miss a super chat? $3.99 super sticker with coffee. I love it. Fish Dreams. Super stickers with coffee. I love it. $3.99. Love you. So yeah, it's all... Each tank is an individual. We're all snowflakes, and our tanks are all snowflakes. Even the addition of a piece of wood can give you the opportunity to build a bacterial colony that is bigger. Because there's stuff in the wood. You just have to figure out what that tank needs. You have to watch your tank and say, okay, it's doing this. Why is it doing that? And do I want it to do that, or do I want it to do something else? And what is the opposite of what it's doing so that I can change that? Like, you can't just say, oh, you can put 10 neon tetras in a 10-gallon tank. Because what? With what? Anyways, no, you can't do that. Von Lurker says, what kind of dirt do you use in your tanks? I use organic potting soil with no perlite, just organic potting soil or topsoil, whatever you want. As long as it's organic and there's no fertilizers in it, because you do not want those kind of fertilizers. If you had to choose water wisteria or water sprite, water wisteria all day long. I feel like water sprite is a more finicky plant. I feel like water sprite just grows funkier in my experience. Like, it's just funkier. Water wisteria is just, it's a nice thick, yeah. All in Tanks says lava rock is great in tanks for bacteria. Lava rock's great in tanks for bacteria because it has a lot of surface area, because it has a lot of holes. The more surface area, the more places for bacteria to grow. So the more stuff you put in the tank, the more places for bacteria to grow. The more surface area that stuff has, the more you can do with it. So when I would set up hang on the back filters, I don't anymore, but when I did, I would fill them with lava rock because it's the same, it's filter media. It's the same as those ceramic rings. It's just cheaper. You can buy a 50-pound bag of lava rock at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever for like $5. Let's see. I got a pair of Streetwise says, I got a pair of killifish to live mid-level. They just go low in the crypts with the glowfin tetras and the CPDs. Is there any way to help some of these fish into the open? Well, you're already doing most of it with, like, the dither fish. So, like, your glowfin tetras and your CPDs. Any fish that you can put with another fish that shows that fish, especially, like, scaredy fish. So, like, Corridoras are like that. Scaredy fish that like to hide don't want to come out unless they see stupid fish swimming around out here. So guppies are usually a really good dither because they don't get scared. They're just like, hey, I'm a guppy. Like, they'll swim right into your net. So if you can get a stupid fish out here that, you know, shows that fish, hey, there's nothing out here that's going to eat you, then it'll come out. So yeah, dithers. Or make them think that they're hiding. So, like, plant your big, tall plants forward more so that they, you know, it feels like they are hidden anyways when they're out in the open. Because some fish just don't swim out in the open. Like, I was doing my walk through aquatic arts today when I was at work, checking on everything, kind of shopping like I do. And I want, like, a schooling fish for this 20-gallon that I've got. There are some fish that you're just not going to see them unless you're looking for them. Because they hide. Or they hide in certain situations. Like my autosinkless, I have like 5 autosinkless in a 20-gallon long. I never see them. Unless it's like when I'm turning the light on. But the autosinkless that we have at work, so if they're in a tank with less than like 50, they all just kind of hide behind the sponge filter. If you put those at a quantity of over 100 into a tank, they will school, and it is the coolest thing ever. It is one big school. Like, you see those big schools in the ocean of, like, those fish that, like, make a ball around a shark? Like, that's the kind of schooling that autosinkless will do in large numbers. It's amazing. But if you just get 5 of them, not so amazing. So, you gotta be the fish. You gotta Eric Bodrocket and be the fish. And just understand what that fish is gonna do. There's some fish you're just never gonna see. Unless you do a certain thing. Bob says, thread or super glue? Thread or nothing. If I can figure out a way to naturally wedge a plant, that's my go-to. I don't like to get out the thread or the super glue, honestly. Like, if I'm trying to get something to attach to something, I will figure out a way to put it on it to where it would have naturally, like, snagged and attached. Just because I feel like that's better for the plant. Like, that's where it would have naturally grabbed hold of it anyway. So, like, in some wood like this or something, I would wedge an anubis in, like, one of these cracks, or I would wedge some moss into one of these cracks and, like, drape it over and let it grab hold of it naturally. That's the way I like to do it. Thanks, I've been waiting for an excuse to use guppies. Yeah, I mean, guppies are great dither just because they are dumb. They do not care. They're just like, they just swim. That's just what they do. Joseph says, I love using charcoal long-term, and the substrate is biological filtration and home to beneficial bacteria, which help convert nutrients for the roots. I love this stuff. Yeah, charcoal works good too, just because it's got a large surface area, and it naturally is a biological filter. What about rummy nose? Are they good dithers? They can be, but they can also be super scaredy fish. Like, I've seen tanks where it works, and I've seen tanks where it's like if you're anywhere near it, the rummy nose are like crammed underneath a rock. So 50-50. How many of the CPDs for me? They're always scared if less than 10 to 12 of them streetwise. Yeah, CPDs are scared if there's less than 10 for sure. Sometimes they're scared if there's less than 20. CPDs are scaredy fish. Dragon Layer says, so many fish have a reputation for fin nipping. If you put them in big schools, that doesn't happen. Serpe tetras and tiger barbs. Yeah, because they're... You gotta figure out why they're nipping. So, is that fish think he's the boss of the whole tank and he wants more space? Does he... Like, just like I had to figure out why this dude was digging. This dude was digging a hole because he wanted a whole area to himself. Okay, this knife fish that I've gotten here, he dug up the whole back of this tank because he wanted... And there's a vampire shrimp right there. He's fanning. He wanted part of this tank to himself. So the way I got him to stop digging, like he was digging everywhere. And the way I got him to stop doing that is I put this piece of wood in here that kind of blocks him off from the rest of the tank. And that makes him feel safe and he stops digging at my plants. Kev says, where does your pilomoss grow best? I also have some. On a piece of wood. All of the times that I've gotten pilomoss to grow the best and actually grow, like, and multiply and be fruitful, it was attached to wood. I wedge plants too, no super glue for me. Honestly, it's half lazy, half I want it to be natural. Like, half of me is like, I don't want to get out the thread. And the other half of me is like, this is very natural. I like it better this way. Advice for setting up a rack system. Make sure you can get your hand in whatever you're doing. Like, make sure you can get your hand in there. Like, and make sure you can get your hand to the back of it. Like, don't build it right on top of each other to where you have to, like, smush your hand in there. Like, tanks on tanks on tanks. You can do tanks on tanks, but leave a gap. Because you want to be able to get in there and clean it. At some point. At some point, you're going to want to put your hand in there. And you're going to be real mad when you got this much clearance. That's my advice. And make it so you can move things around. I think that's fun too. Fish Dream says I have a new rack, but no plywood. Ooh. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, what else? Rack advice, right? I've seen a few racks built. I'm gonna be building my own rack. What's up, Dan Slee? Long time no see, bro. Buying versus building, for sure, build your own. Utilize your space. If you buy one, you're just shoving a thing into a hole. If you design one and build it, you can utilize all the space you have. You can do it the way you want. You don't have to retrofit anything to be the way you want. You can just go, okay, this, and start with, what do I need this thing to do? Okay, do you want to house bettas? Do you want to breed bettas? Do you want to house baby fish and raise them up? Do you want a grow out for fish? What do you want it to do? Then design, and then where's it going? And then design it for that space. Or, if you need that thing to be mobile, and you need to be able to move it, like say I'm going to be moving in 3 months or 6 months or 4 years or whatever, and you want to be able to take this thing with you, you need to think about that now so that you can design it to do that. Start from the beginning. Build what you want. Or else you end up like all of the rest of us people with their stuff thrown together because they're like, crap, I need another tank set up. And you just keep throwing stuff together. Shrimp breeding. Okay, so you definitely want to be able to get into that thing because you're going to be culling shrimp. You're going to be in there and you want to be able to see. So you might think about the fact, think about this, Hunter. You might think about the fact, if you're going to be building a rack for breeding shrimp, what size tanks do you want on that? So do you want a bunch of little 10 gallons? Or do you want a bunch of like 14 low boys or something? That'd be so cool. Oh my gosh. Okay, so or like a 33 long. Just a bunch of 33 longs back to back. You gotta think about that. Because what you really need is surface area for shrimp breeding. And rock piles. Rock piles. Shrimps with sweaters. Time to go mobile. Mickey says, Rummy-nosed tetras are one of those tetras which almost always school many other larger fish to make them swim around. Given the opportunity, they just take a bushy plant as their territory for spawning. Yeah, I haven't kept a lot of rummy-nosed tetras. I've watched a lot of rummy-nosed tetras. And when you can get them to school around, they look fantastic. And if you can get them to breed, all the better. It's a sweet, sweet fish. They definitely school really well. But you know what schools better than rummy-nosed tetras? 100 or 200 autosynclus. Ooh, divided 33 longs. Oh, Hunter. Divided 33 longs. Be still my heart. The stuff of my dreams. I would love that. That's a sweet tank size. 33 long. I'm a fan. Bob says, I can't really build anymore, but I had my last 2 built and I love them. Well, I mean, you don't have to build it yourself, but design it yourself. I mean, you can pay somebody to do the building. I can't do all that nonsense. But you can pay somebody to do it. Or you can get a friend to do it. And barter. That's what I like to do, is barter. Like, what do you need and what do I need? Let's work this out. Other tetras often just stand still. Yeah. That's why I don't like neon tetras. Because they'd be cool if they schooled around, but they don't really school around. They just kind of sit there. They don't do anything. Mad Guy likes the hair. Thank you. I need to re-dye it. It's fading into green. That's weird. I don't know. Where do you get 33 longs? I don't know, but if you find out, let me know, because I love that tank size. I've seen them. Like, I've seen people that have them. I've never seen one for sale. think the Reef has some of those weird sizes. That's a store here in Indy. Do I keep Endlers? I do not. Well, I have some. I have a bunch of misfit guppies and Endlers that came from Aquatic Arts. Oh, Mile High Plecos is here. What's up? Check it out. Can you see that? Can you see my snowball pleco? It's over there. Up there. Can you see that there, Mile High Plecos? Can you see my albino sailfin? No, he's hiding under a rock. Okay. When do they breed the best? Endlers, Kev's Aquatics, all the time. All day long. Get some guppy grass. Get somewhere for their babies to hide up top and on bottom. So you got to think about this. When you're breeding a live bear like that, like a guppy or an endler, they're going to drop babies. They're going to hit the bottom. They're going to need somewhere to hide down there. When they sleep, they're going to hit the bottom. You're going to need somewhere to hide down there. But when they're awake during the day, they're going to be up top. So you need top cover and bottom cover. So moss, rock pile, something like that down here, and then guppy grass or a floating plant. You can't see that pleco right there? That is a pleco, my friend, right there. Right where my finger's at. Just looks like spotty rock to me. Thought plecos were cooler. Well, that's all I see is a chicken wing. You're a chicken wing. Chicken wing. I've had mine for 3 months and still no babies. They might be too young. Sometimes the females will hold until they feel comfortable, secure, whatever. Yeah, sometimes getting them to breed that first time. A lot of times if they have babies with them already, it makes them breed more readily because they're like, oh, everything's cool, right? That's why when Lucas sends out pairs of guppies, he will send them with babies just so that, like, the parents know what they're supposed to be doing, like make babies. You got yours from LRB, so did you get a baby? They're probably just babies. They probably just aren't grown up enough yet to start breeding. You just got to give them some time. Oh, okay, we got what, like 15 more minutes here? 15, 20 more minutes, something like that? What else do you guys want to talk about? We're supposed to be talking plants. We kind of are. I've been doing a really good job of staying on subject tonight and talking fish. What's up, go me? Whatever. I guess. I don't know. I have a 33 long and it has tetras and rainbows and bettas in it. So that sounds sweet. How the rainbows do with the bettas? How's that work out, Bob? Rainbows and bettas? I was thinking about bringing home some other rainbows today. And then I stopped myself because I'm responsible, right? Right? No. Let's see. You can see it when having planted tanks without circulation. Rummy nose, Kochu tetras, mosquito tetras always swim, and blue tetras that Joseph has too. Yeah. I mean, they all always swim. Some of them just swim in place. Darlene's Tank says, can you recommend a good plant book? Ecology of the Planted Aquarium by Diana Walstead. Number 1, planted tank book. Mile High Pleco's got a new fish today. Tell us, sir, what is it that you got? What is it that you got? I've added wisteria floating and removed the males to give the females a break. I hope it works. Yeah, you can definitely try that if the males are getting crazy on the females. Especially if the females look like pregnant, like they're going to be ready to drop soon. If they look like that, then for sure you can take the males out. But if not, then just give them some cover and let them go. Okay, nobody else can spell that but you, Joseph. Like, yeah, nobody can spell that but you. But very, very impressive with the spelling. Did you copy-paste that, or did you do it from memory? If you did it from memory, I'm very impressed. Tell the truth.
Mommy?
Yes?
I have no pants on.
Go put some pants on! My God, move it!
I gotta go see Mom.
Oh my gosh. Streetwise says Wallstead is like a textbook. Skim, then know where to look up details later. Yes, and also make sure that you read those footnotes that are on the sides where she's like answering someone's question, because she kind of dumbs down what she's trying to say so that she can answer people's questions, and it makes a little bit more sense. So I definitely recommend those. Giant talking catfish. I'm gonna rehome him for a friend. He's huge, like 13 inches right now. Dang, man. It's a spiny SOB. I bet it's a spiny SOB. Giant talking catfish. Send me a picture. Send me a picture. I spell it out in my sleep. You're a freak, Joseph. Although, or Pictus calabaricus. Can relate. Hashtag live your best life, Joseph. Mom life. I'm currently having the same thing going on here, giggling and all. Yeah, I mean, I have a 5-year-old, so what are you gonna do? You can either, like, get mad about it, or you can, like, understand that, like, I have a 5-year-old. And I'm cool with it, so, you know. She's got a lot of energy. And also, her and Wesley. Oh, man. I'm in so much trouble with those two. Wesley now has an Xbox, and they play Minecraft together. And if you don't know who Wesley is, that's Lucas Bretz's son. They play Minecraft together, and the first time they played Minecraft together was a disaster, because Wesley likes to be crazy and fight things and whatever, and Jaden likes to build things and make beautiful rainbow houses, and Wesley likes to blow stuff up. So Jaden invited Wesley into her world of Minecraft, and he blew something up, and it was a disaster. But now they play together in neutral worlds where Jaden hasn't spent hours building things, and Wesley can blow up whatever he wants, and they have so much fun. And Wesley blows up my cell phone because Wesley has a cell phone. Jaden doesn't have a cell phone. So Wesley has to call my phone or Bear's phone, and then they talk because neither one of them uses a headset, and it's a big old nightmare, and I swear I'm in trouble. I can confirm that Joseph is a real guy. I mean, kind of. Neutral worlds, but still good fun. Right, they're not allowed neutral world, because like Jaden will spawn in animals and make like zoos, and she has OCD like her mother, and she knows all the animals and all their names and where she makes them all cages, and Wesley might have done some damage. And then the bear had to fix it. The bear spent a bunch of time building all these things, so the bear was all... It was a disaster. It was just a disaster. But now it's all good. Now it's all good. Except for the fact that they monopolized my phone by talking to each other. Which is why we have headsets, but they don't use the headsets. Whatever. Anyways, go Wesley, whatever. She was devastated. Took her hours to rebuild that. Okay, good. I will check it out. I will check that out. There, Mile High Plecos, because I need to see that sucker. Talking catfish. So cool. I love big fish. I also love small fish. I kind of like big fish more than small fish. I like weird fish. That's what it is. Weird fish. If the fish does something weird, is weird in some way, love it. Uh-oh, fostering a new cat, and cat's not happy about it. I heard something about a rainbow castle. Yeah, she had built this rainbow, like, mansion, and the top of it, so, like, there's lava, and there's water, and there's ice, and there's snow, and the roof of it was built, her and the bear built it together, so that water and lava flowed down the sides of the roof and turned into ice and like, it was all blocked off, and apparently Wesley, like, busted one side of it, and the lava and water flowed and killed a bunch of animals, and it was a disaster anyways. Let's see.
What are you talking about?
Rainbow castles. Anybody have the old nutrition paste in a tube for root feeding plants? I've heard about that, but I've never seen it. I have a 20 long planted with Amazon puffer, and I was wondering if you have any weird tank mate recommendations. Amazon puffers are usually pretty cool with anything. That's actually pretty, like, if you were gonna do a community tank, that's the puffer I would tell you. Any other cool puffers like avocado puffers coming into aquatic arts? Not that I'm aware of, but I don't have the list for next quarters or next whatever the next shipment. I don't have the list yet. Where are ropefish native to? Africa. West Central Africa. Plecos are cooler not than ropefish. Crazy man. Hey Haley, any Corys yet? Which Corys? I have Corys. We have albino sturbys at Aquatic Arts. They're the cutest thing ever. I think they're the perfect Halloween fish. If you get some from Aquatic Arts, use my coupon code. It's oddball15 for 15% off your first order, or oddball10 for 10% off any order after that. But I really think that those albino sturbys are like the perfect Halloween fish. They look like a ghost pumpkin, and I love them. But yeah, I think Amazon puffers can go with pretty much anything. They do have plecos. Bro, albino 333s. Albino L333s, they're super cool. I'm trying to steal some, but I can't figure out how to get them out of there. Amber says I have not had enough cheddar or maple syrup to be a Vermonter. That's probably true. It's probably true, Joseph. Is there any good fish for a 10 to 20 gallon that will eat snails? I was told pea puffers only eat teeny tiny snails. That's true. Pea puffers do only eat teeny tiny snails. Corridors will snack on some snails. Nothing will eat all the snails. Like, even if you get, like, assassin snails, they're not going to kill all the snails. Because if your snails are breeding because of how much you're feeding your tank, they're always going to outbreed whatever's killing them. Because they breed a lot. And they can hide everywhere as little tiny babies. There's a lot of fish that will eat snails. A lot of loaches. You might look into some loaches. Like a you know, it'd probably be good? Zodiac loach. Those things are aggressive. What's running around? A dog? Yeah. Piranha dog? Everest! Quit. Everest. Get out of that box. Oh, God. Longfin pepper corys. What others do you have going? Well, I'm trying to get the Trilinianus to breed. And I've also got these Schultzis in here that I've bred a couple of times. Not trying to eradicate, just some population control. Yeah, I mean, Amazon puffers, the bigger type puffers will help. Pea puffers, maybe, but they won't eat anything too big for them. Although they're crazy, so they might. You'd be surprised the size of a snail they can take down. They're pretty aggressive. Pea puffer might actually do what you're trying to do. What type of snails? Are we talking pond snails? Are we talking Ramshorn snails? What are we talking about? Rabbit snails? What do you got? Surely not rabbit snails. Yo-yo loaches will chow, but best to figure out why you're growing snails. Yeah, if you have a problem with snails and you want, like, to not have as many snails, I'm not the person to talk to. I like snails. I find them very beneficial and like the canary in the coal mine. If my snail population is going through the roof, I'm probably feeding too much. If my snail shells are looking like crap, I need to do more water changes because there's not enough calcium in my water column. And my plants will start to suffer after that. If I don't have a lot of snails and the snails are dying off, there's probably a lack of nutrition going into that. I find snails very beneficial. And I don't ever want to necessarily reduce their populations. Plus, I use them as puffer food. Pinocchio Catfish are available here now. $40. Such a nice catfish with odd brooding behaviors. Pinocchio Catfish. I'm going to have to look that up. Pinocchio. Where's my marker? I like a stable amount of pond snails. Streetwise likes a stable amount of pond snails. Yeah, I can get down with that. Pinocchio Catfish. I'm gonna sneeze. Ow. Okay. Oh. Alright, I'm fine. I'm fine. I like my pond snails at a zero. Stable population of 0. Dan, you just don't understand the benefit of the Yoda snail. I love pond snails because they look like little Yoda. They have little Yoda ears like this. Let me stick them out. Ow, hurt my nose. Ramshorns for the win, right? Always. I love my Ramshorns. Alright, we got, what, 5 more minutes? 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, and then I get to go to bed and go to work tomorrow like every other day. Decrease feeding and snails stop breeding, says Bob Kaler. True. Who's going live next? I do not know. There goes the dog again. The dog is on a rampage. I'm so sorry. So sorry. I do not know who's going live next because I've not been able to keep up on half of what I want to with YouTube at the moment. Mostly because I do nothing but work. Everest, stop running around. John's Fish, Michigan says, favorite oddball Nano fish, or second if it's a pea puffer. Does it have to be Nano? I only have one favorite fish, and that is Ropefish. Ropefish forever. Nano oddball. If I had to pick a Nano oddball under 3 inches. That's a good one. Oh, man. I'm going to have to think about that for a second. Hang on. Nano under 3-inch oddball fish. What? Probably mud skipper. Probably mud skipper. I'm going to say mud skipper. Freshwater mud skipper. Not brackish mud skipper. Brackish mud skipper. Yeah. Does that count since it's brackish? I don't know. I don't know the rules of this game. Pond and Ramshorn Snails, they feed heavily because it's a guppy tank with lots of fry. Yeah, then you're just going to need to embrace snails. They're just going to help you. Just love them. Just get a puffer, pull the snails out when you don't like how many there are, feed them. Or, better yet, do what I do. It's called a snail party. If you're trying to pull snails out of your tank, I got 2 minutes. I can explain a snail party. So if you really want to decrease the number of snails in your tank, you would really like to pull a giant chunk of snails out, what you can do, Ornatopinus, that's an Ornatopinus Bashir, what you can do is you take an algae wafer, you throw it in your tank. You walk away and you watch a half an hour of a show somewhere, maybe an hour, doesn't really matter. Come back. There will be a dog pile of snails on that algae wafer. You take your net, you scoop those snails up, you pluck the algae wafer out of the snail party, throw the algae wafer back in, throw the snails wherever you want to throw them, and then you do the same thing. Rinse, repeat. Come back an hour later after you've done something else, and snail party will have congregated until the size of the snail party is what you would like to have it as. Yeah, that works with carrots too, yeah, for sure. Plant question. Do you have any advice on receiving/converting Pogo erectus? I hear it's a bear, but I want it. Depends on how you get it. If you get it in a tissue culture, you're just going to have to give it nutrients, light, and wait, because it's going to take forever. If you get it as a plant from a hobbyist already grown underwater, that is your best bet. It will be the easiest to propagate/convert. If you get it from someone like a plant farm that has grown it out of water, you need to get it planted, get it set where you want it, and don't touch it. Ooh, platinum half-beak. That's a good one, too. Introverts. Click the lurk. Green bean works, too. Yeah, basically any type of food. I use an algae wafer just because I can pluck it back out and keep reusing it, and I don't just have to keep adding more food to the tank, because they usually can't eat a whole algae wafer in one snail party, so I can usually, like, keep using it. Favorite fish available on the website. On which website? Aquatic Arts website? Ooh, favorite fish at the moment. Probably black ghost knifefish. Do we have any of those still on the website? I don't know. We also have these really, really cool rainbows. Hang on. And when I say these are cool rainbows, it's not necessarily because they're, like, rare or anything. I mean, they're not, like, super prevalent everywhere, but they are great size, beautiful coloration on them. Where are they? I forget what they're called. It's not that one. Which one is it? Rainbow fish. Hang on. I'll find it. I was looking at them today and I almost took some home, and then I was like, no, I don't need those. Hello? Hello? Can I search? I'd like to search. Thank you. Rainbow fish. What are we calling those? Oh. Lake Kuromoy, sunset, dwarf rainbow fish. Oh, they're Melanotania parvus. Are those really Melanotania parvus? I don't think so. They do not look like Melanotania parvus, but they're like Kurumoi. They're on sale right now. But they're super big and super pretty. Okay, did I miss anything else? Snails on maple leaves because I don't get in my tubs early. I couldn't shake off all the snails, so I filled a bucket. Yep. John's Fish says, I have like 30 of those. They're pretty, and I like them. What else do we have right now that's in stock? Hang on a second. Let me look. Last thing. That's the last thing I'm doing. Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I actually saw everything today because I did a full walkthrough. Freshwater fish. Those shell dwellers we've got look amazing too. Those are parvas. That means I'm going to take some of those home. I'm going to mix some bloodlines. I have some parvas. Interesting. Interesting. Now I'm just browsing Aquatic Arts. That's what's happening here now. Welcome to Oddball Aquatics, where you watch me look at fish I've already seen 16 times today. Currently my favorite fish at Aquatic Arts, if I have to pick a fish, yeah, the shell dwellers are cool, but I really, really love the albino 333 plecos. They're amazing. Super expensive, but amazing. Is Bolbitis a good beginner plant? Not if you want to see something grow. Bolbitis is the slowest growing, most finicky plant I have ever personally grown. Some people say it's super easy, it grows like a weed. Not in my opinion. Then again, I can't grow Java fern. And I obviously can grow plants. But for some reason, Java fern, which is supposed to be like the easiest plant in the world to grow, always dies. Every time I get it, always dies. Bolbitis, I've had some for forever. It's always been the exact same size, never grown, never, nothing. Does freshwater pipefish count as a nano oddball? No, because freshwater pipefish get big. But they're amazing. I love them. Every location of species of rainbows are different, Haley. Yeah, I'm not a rainbow person. I'm so sorry. Like, I get it. They're like Pokemon and like guppies. You gotta collect them all. Like, I get it. But you're talking to somebody whose favorite fish is ropefish. There's only one. There's no color morphs. It's just one fish. Anyways, have we done enough tonight? Are you guys entertained? I need to take a nap. Joe, fern won't grow for you either. Nope, no nap. Okay, Dansley says I can't go anywhere. Bob Kaler has 11 rainbow species. Well done, Bob. Gary Lang, look out. Bob's coming for you. Are you coming for his glory, Bob? You're going to have to go find your own rainbow fish. Andy with the $5 super chat. Thanks for answering my questions. Good night. You're welcome. Thanks for asking questions. Always ask questions. Always learning. That's my motto is live your best life. But you gotta always be learning something. You're never gonna know everything. Always learn something. Anyways, thank you guys for the super chats. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you for your asking questions. Something's cold on my back. Oh, it's AC. Oh, cold. Live your best life. Hit the like button. Subscribe if you're not already. Tell Dansley I get to go take a nap because I did all my stuff today. Thank you guys for hanging out and being awesome. What else do I got? I don't think I have anything else. Anyways, love you guys. Bye.